I'm going to take a wild guess that Kathleen Bright is actually Mary Hall. Am I right, Mary?
Gosh, I guess so. That's interesting. I will change that if I can. Hello.
I can't do it for you.
Yeah.
That'd be fun if I could. I'd have a lot of fun.
Guys are live.
Okay, thank you. All right, Council, we are live. Again, I will call the meeting to order in our usual fashion of the City Council meeting of Yelm, September 28th, 2021. If we would rise and find a flag near you to salute our flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
Which I stand.
Nation, under God.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That is very disorienting when you hear the echoes from three different pledges going at the same time. My agenda here. Having called the meeting to order, we will do a roll call. And before Kathy does the roll call, I will reiterate what I said at before the beginning of the meeting. For a council member to be considered present at this meeting, they need to be either in council chambers or visible to all council members, and to be able to see all council members by having their video feed live for the entirety of the meeting. If they're unable to do so and unable to join us, the meeting would be considered an unexcused meeting and they wouldn't be able to participate in the action items. And this is per the Yelm City Council and Mayor Protocol Manual that was adopted by this City Council in 2020. So please adjust your videos if you need to be able to participate in tonight's meeting. I'd also like to welcome the attendees this evening. Thank you for joining in. Kathy, would you go ahead and take the roll, please?
Councilmember James Blair. Councilmember Molly Carmody.
Here.
Councilmember EJ Curry.
Here.
Councilmember Holly Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Tracy Wood.
Here.
Councilmember Joe DePinto.
Here.
Councilmember Terry Kaminsky.
Here.
Mayor J.W. Foster.
Here. Thank you. All right, we're going to start off this evening with a special presentation. I will read first. Mary, there you are. Hello. Nice to see you. I am going to read. Well, first off, what I'm going to do is welcome Mary Hall. It's quite a pleasure to have our friend Mary Hall join us tonight in her role as Thurston County Auditor. But actually, Mary has a new honorific because she's now also known as Washington State's Auditor of the Year. During the presentation of her award, Secretary of State Kim Wyman noted numerous accomplishments and leadership shown by Mary during a particularly challenging year, saying Thurston County just really shined, and it was because of Mary's leadership. Of course, Mary then turned the praise over to her staff, particularly Deputy Chief Benson and Elections Supervisor Naputi Pullar. But tonight, let's just take a moment to congratulate Mary on her accomplishment. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you very much. I owe it all to my team. They're rock stars.
Now, I believe I know why you're here, and it's going to start with the fact that this is National Voter Registration Day, and you provided us with a proclamation that I'll read, and then we'll have a few comments from you and any questions the council might have, if that works. Excellent. City of Yelm Proclamation, National Voter Registration Day. Whereas registering to vote empowers eligible citizens to exercise their right to vote on election day. And whereas the city of Yelm is committed to strengthening democracy by encouraging voter registration and increasing participation in elections. And whereas civic-minded people and organizations have collaborated to establish September 28th, 2021 as National Registration Day. And whereas the goal for the 2021 National Voter Registration Day is to create awareness of elections and motivate eligible citizens to vote in coming months. And whereas the strength of our democracy depends on the willingness of our citizens to participate by choosing the people who will lead us and by voicing their opinions on more important matters that will come before the voters on election day. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Yelm City Council hereby recognizes September 28th, 2021 as National Voter Registration Day in Yelm and encourages all eligible city residents to register to vote. Mary, what else could you add to that?
Well, I just want to thank you very much for recognizing National Voter Registration Day. You know, voting is the cornerstone of our democracy, but if you're not registered, you can't vote. Last year, it was very exciting. We actually surpassed 200,000 registered voters in Thurston County, and voter registration has never been easier. We now have same day voter registration, and we have pre-registration for 16 and 17-year-olds, so they can sign up, and then when they become 18, they're automatically registered to vote. 2021 is the 8th celebration of National Voter Registration Day, and I'm pleased to say that we have celebrated this every year in Thurston County. You know, but your efforts today to help us increase awareness of the importance of registering and participating in the democratic process is really appreciated. You know, and for those of you watching remotely, please know that registering to vote is very, very easy. You can simply go to vote.wa.gov and follow the prompts, and all you'll need is your Washington State driver's license or state ID, or the last 4 of your social security number. And I want you to know also that we also, now that the libraries are open, voters can actually go to the Yelm Library and for any voter assistance on election day. Let's say they lost their ballot and can't get down to our election center. They can actually go in there and print a ballot that we'll have to manually handle, but as long as the signature matches, it will count. So we're trying to make voting as accessible and easy as we can for citizens in all corners of the county. So thank you very much for your support and your partnership on this and so many other important issues. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Auditor Hall? Councilmember DePinto?
Thank you, Mayor. Auditor Hall, it's always a pleasure to see you. I did want to recognize that last year during 2020 and with the way we had to vote and everything, I had to register to vote over at the South Puget Sound Community College, that campus where you had your drive-through voter registration, but voter setup. And I just want to say y'all were very professional. It was very well done. I couldn't believe how quick it was, how y'all made sure that we were who we said we were. And you just did an amazing job. And I couldn't believe how wonderfully that just worked out. And so congratulations to you and your staff for that and earning your award. That's well deserved. My question though is, historically Yelm has had kind of a lower voter turnout and compared to other cities in Thurston County. And I was wondering, what would be a good goal for us to reach this year for voter participation? If you could have a magical number out there, like 35, 40, 50%, in understanding that's an off-year election, what do you think would be a good number?
I think a great goal would be 55%, which is on the high side for few municipal elections, but we're working really hard and doing a lot of voter outreach this year because let's face it, municipal government is the closest government to the people. You make the decisions that affect them every single day, and you have a lot more influence over their lives than say the state legislature or Congress. So I think it's just getting the word out to people to understand how important all of your positions are. You make important decisions, at every council meeting. And, let's work to get the word out. We're going to have, advertising in the theaters, and, we're going to be doing some mailings to first-time voters from last year, and hoping that we can generate consistent voters, that there'll be a voter every single year. So we're doing what we can through our voter outreach, but word of mouth is the best. You'd be amazed how many people don't vote, and just talking to people would really go a long way. But 55% would be a great goal for Yelm.
Sounds good. Thank you. And yeah, we'll try to do with a plus or minus 10 points. Thank you, Auditor.
Councilmember Blair, if you'll unmute, you could ask your question.
Hi, Auditor Hall. I had a quick question. When the 16 and 17-year-olds are pre-registered, how is it handled if they move out of state when they turn 18? Like if they go to college in another state or end up moving, if they're automatically registered, how is that handled if they end up moving?
So when people become registered to vote, we send out what we call a confirmation card. So once they're registered, we will mail something to the address they're registered at. If it comes back to us as undeliverable, that registration will become inactive. So what that means is we no longer mail them a ballot until they contact us and update an address or cancel their registration. So we have some pretty good laws in Washington state to keep our voter rolls very clean. And I think that's a really good safeguard, because people do move out of state. And we also are involved in I would call it a list sharing match, where it's called ERIC, election, registration information consortium. And most counties or most states in the United States participate in this. So we actually bounce our voter registration lists off against other state lists, or this organization does. And they send us back what could be potential matches, so we can cancel voter registrations or deceased people. Washington state really is a leader in the country as far as keeping our voter rolls clean.
Thank you. I knew that was an area of concern for people, and I kind of knew about what you were talking about, but it's better for people to hear from you than me.
Sure. Thank you for asking the question.
Very good. I don't see any other hands up. Oh, there's Terry, right next to me.
You kind of answered this already, Mary, but with all the controversy going around the country about the security of our elections, just wanted to make sure that you feel that there's no lack of integrity in the elections that we have and how things are counted.
I don't think there's any lack of integrity in the elections across the country. The things you have to keep in mind is, just like when you go to a Washington, Association of Washington City events, it's a pretty small community, and everybody across the country, at least now, is really just like me, and everybody has integrity. And the people that are professionals in this business are not in it for the short term. I've been in this business for 25 years. Tilly, my elections manager, has been in this business for 22 years. So if you get in and you are a champion of democracy, you stay in this business. And we take our jobs and roles very seriously, not just here in Thurston County and Washington state, but all across the country. But what's happening now is there is a purposeful effort to undermine confidence in our elections. And unfortunately, they're succeeding. So I encourage anyone who has questions about our processes is go watch, go observe the process. You'll be amazed at the checks and balances that we have in place. And we are open to anybody who wishes to come and observe.
Good news. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. This is an important topic.
Thank you.
That was me. I just wanted to say thank you. She couldn't hear me.
Thank you for those great questions, and thank you, Auditor Hall, for taking care of Thurston County the way you do. And we have quite an election coming up here in Yelm. So probably
Yes.
taking up half of your voters pamphlet. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, you had a lot of primaries. That's impressive. I'm glad people are stepping up and willing to serve. And I just want to thank you for your service and what you do every single day. I know it's not an easy job, but it's an important job. So thank you. And thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right. Have a good rest of your evening.
Thanks, you too.
Councilmember Wood brought it to my attention that in my zeal to introduce the auditor, I forgot to ask the council to approve the agenda for tonight. So if there are no other suggestions for additions or deletions to the agenda.
I move we approve tonight's agenda.
Said Councilmember Wood,
Second.
seconded by Councilmember Curry. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. I got all ayes. The next up is public comment. We'll just take a moment to remind folks that the public comment period is an opportunity for citizens to address the council on matters that are not already on the agenda. So if you have something else you'd like to address the council on, it would be, you could raise your hand, or you could put a question in the question and answer box, and would be able to address that, or you could address the council that way. We give you about 3 minutes to talk to the council on any topic. And I'm not seeing any of our fine citizens raise their hands tonight, but I do appreciate you all coming and viewing the meeting. So we will move past the public comment period and go to the consent agenda, which it consists of the year-to-date financial status report, which was included in your packet, and the minutes from the last 2 council meetings.
I move we approve tonight's consent agenda.
Second.
Said Councilmember Wood, seconded first by Councilmember Smith, and followed closely by a third from Councilmember Blair. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We have no new business, but we do have old business, and that brings us to City Attorney Brent Dilley, who will go over the presentation that you've seen. This will be the second or third time that you've seen this, included in your packet with the red line changes and the official documents. And Brent will walk us through what we hope will become an action item for the council tonight. Brent?
Good evening, everybody. Mayor Foster, council members. So this is a little awkward for me. Michael Graham was supposed to be presenting this, so it seems a little odd that I'm presenting my own contract, but happy to do so. I think what we have here is, something that protects the city, allows for some adjustments depending on how things go. If you're looking at the prosecutor side of things, as far as caseload, that I think is a benefit to the city. I don't really have any highlights. This is kind of basically what we've had in place for the last 9 months, and what we've been operating under. And this just culminates in a formal contract, and we've bifurcated the contracts into a civil contract, which me acting as your city attorney, and then the prosecutor contract with me acting as your prosecutor. I do feel old in the sense that I look around the city and going, holy smokes, I've been here since 2020, 21 years this month, actually. And I've really enjoyed my tenure as a city attorney, and I'm happy to field any questions you might have about the agreement that's in front of you.
Are there any questions for Councilor Dilley or council members? Perhaps we could hear from someone on the finance committee who had, or government committee rather, who had some interest in developing these separate contracts. Any council members want to add any support or have any questions about this? Councilmember Carmody?
Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to add other than what we've already talked about, but I think this is a really smart move for the city. Brent, as amazing as you are, I must recognize that someday you have to retire. So we should probably look to that day to be able to get somebody to replace you. And I have to assume that the person who replaces you on the municipal law side of things might not necessarily be as astute of a prosecutor as you are, or vice versa. So we should really separate these two. Of course, that doesn't stop somebody from applying for both jobs or both positions. They certainly can. But I think this is a good way to make sure that we have somebody in both positions moving forward once you retire. So thanks, Brent.
You're very welcome.
A lot of good work went into making these contracts look really good. And so the action before the council is there in your packet to approve both the city attorney and prosecutor legal services contracts. Councilmember Carmody?
I move to approve both the new city, the city count, or the the city attorney position and the prosecutorial attorney position contracts.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Smith. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you for your work, and thanks for sticking with us through thick and thin over the years.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
We don't have much left on the agenda, and you are joining us for our executive session, so stick around if you'd like.
All right.
All we have now is updates from the council and myself, and then we'll go into our executive session. So I'll start off. Typically we would have Mr. Graham doing presentations. He's off on another assignment this evening, but City Clerk Kathy Linnemeyer has something that she would like to address the council on.
Good evening, council. Let me,
Hi, Kathy. There you are. Well, that's not Kathy. Who is that?
okay. Is my screen sharing? You're seeing the right screen, I hope.
Yes, we are. We're seeing Erica Cecil.
Yes, thank you very much. So tonight I would like to introduce you to our new utility clerk, Erica Cecil. She has a prior commitment on Tuesday evenings and is not able to attend the meeting, but I wanted to introduce you to her anyway. Erica comes to us with 20 years of customer service experience. 15 of those she has worked in for water utilities. She has extensive knowledge in all aspects of utility billing, from the water utility, in the water utility industry, from the customer service and utility billing side. And also she has a lot of knowledge in the public works and state compliance and reporting side. So she's been a great fit to our office, and with her experience, she's been able to hit the ground running, and we couldn't be more happy to have her on board. So if you have a few minutes, or if you stop by City Hall, I would encourage you to stop by her cubicle and, say hi and introduce yourself. Like I said, she's just a wealth of knowledge, and we're excited to have her on our team.
She has been a joy, just brings a light into City Hall every day. And she's so excited to have this position. And we all feel so great that like Kathy and like Stephanie, when they joined our team, they were so proficient at their professions that they were able to really just walk right into these jobs and start doing them at a high level of efficiency. So wonderful selection and addition to our team. Thank you for that introduction, Kathy.
Thank you.
Council members, we'll start with Council Member Blair.
I don't have any updates right now.
Okay, Council Member Carmody.
I went to the Fall Festival and was a judge for the first annual Kings and Queens of the festival. The festival itself looked very well attended. We had a couple of entries for almost every age group. It was fantastic. The intercity transit, our meeting is next week. So other than that, I have nothing to report.
Councilmember Curry.
I also was a judge at the
Yelm Harvest Festival. I thought it was well attended. It was a lot of fun, and LaDonna does a great job with the festivals she puts on. Also, the senior center is working towards a scavenger hunt haunted house for Halloween. And that's it.
Very good. Councilmember Smith?
I attended the farmer's market and the fall festival, and they were great as usual. No meetings. Well,
Yeah,
had one but didn't realize it. Yeah.
that happens. Well, we'll get you there and you'll appreciate them so much when you.
I will thank you for that later. Yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Wood?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended the public safety meeting. We talked about our brand new 2021 vehicle we received today. Our 2017 vehicle was in a collision with a delivery service truck. Insurance is paying for that, and we will be getting a new 2022 to replace that. We are working on a body / in-car camera 5-year contract, which includes 16 total. I believe that means 16 of each, as well as it'll also cover the recordings in the interview room. And that contract runs about $200,000 every 5 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chief Stansel. The first police advisory board meeting was held 2 weeks ago, and I was told it went well. And we have there's a winter executive training seminar that is Monday, December 13th at 5:30. The invitations have been sent out. That's my report.
Thank you. Councilmember DePinto?
Thank you, Mayor. I didn't have any committees meet since our last meeting. I did attend the community resource fair here earlier today and just talked to some of the vendors, people that offer services, and some of the folks that are applying for the services. And I'm glad to report it's working well. It was a little bit lower attendance today. I think there was only like 6 families that were served today, but in the past it's been busier, and it seems like it's a very worthwhile effort and endeavor, and I'm happy that it's going on. That's all.
Okay. Councilmember Kaminsky?
Left on mute.
No.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I missed my Thurston Thrives meeting. Sorry. But I did attend the finance committee meeting. It was a little lonely. I don't know where everybody was. We've got our wires crossed. The B&O tax collection amount for the year is very, very strong. And we are actually almost at our yearly budget with another quarter to collect. So our finance director was very happy about that. This Thursday, the utility moratorium expires. So we will be looking to see how many delinquencies there are and potential shutoffs. We're not expecting anything exorbitant, and operations are very strong, so no worries there. And overall, the city's in great financial condition. And I also was a judge at the Fall Festival. It was really fun, and I understand LaDonna is having a Christmas event. So mark your calendars.
Smoky Mountain Christmas.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. That's all I have.
Very good. And I wanted to tag on to what you just said. Having talked to Kathy Linnemeyer and Erica, our utilities team is working very diligently with our customers to make sure that everyone is aware that the moratorium is ending. There are people that have significant balances that will become due, and the city of Yelm is motivated to work with each of the customers to find a way for them to make good on the bills that they have accrued, including the contract that the city council approved a couple of years back now to help people with that. So if anybody out there is concerned about their utility bill, they should give City Hall a call and talk to Kathy or to Erica to get their questions answered. As for my report, On the 16th, I attended the Association of Washington Cities Mayors Forum with about 50 other mayors and AWC staff, providing information, and we had great discussions on police reform legislation, ARP funding guidance, and we had a fun presentation on dealing with difficult situations, which was timely. I didn't hear anybody report on the first of our hopefully annual canine plunks, no, what is it, canine kerplunk. I don't, is Cody on here? I don't see Cody on here. So I wasn't able to attend that. My little dogs were scared of the water. Did anybody check in? No? I know Debbie Furman, who's attending, she took her dog there, and her dog may never forgive her for it. But a fun thing to do to close down the season. And then, super important, on the 17th, I attended the awards ceremony at the county courthouse, where, amongst other awards, Sheriff Snaza awarded Lifesaver Awards to Sergeant Atkins and Officer Rozier for their efforts in attending to Deputy Moore when she was injured down in the Pines. It was super emotional, and the recognition, you know, Sheriff Snaza did such a great job of recognizing not just them, but Deputy Moore herself, who received a Lifesaver Award for saving the life of the citizen by getting in the way and taking the brunt of the attack from that person herself. And she got an injury award. But she gets up there with the sergeant and the officer and the deputy POTUS, who was also in attendance that night and helped her dramatically. And everybody was just so emotional and kind of pent up, and she just sort of looks at them all and shrugs her shoulders and goes, well, thanks. And everybody just sort of laughed, and it broke the tension, and there were hugs all around. And it was just a really proud moment for me, for our assistant chief who was there, and for our whole team, in that recognizing how well our officers work with our deputy partners in this area to provide great policing in our community. So thanks to all of them, and we're so glad that Deputy Moore survived that incident with the help of our officers. So there you go. That brings us to the end of our scheduled business, except for the executive session. And I'll let the public know that when we go into an executive session at the end of the meeting, the only thing that we're going to do when we come back is adjourn. So there's no other business before the council, but you are perfectly welcome to stay on. The meeting would stay live for you. There'll be a placeholder there, but we expect this executive session to go about 20 minutes. And it's for the purpose of discussing complaints or charges brought against a public employee. That's by RCW 42.30.1101F is one of the reasons that we can go into an executive session. We will be joined by our Human Resources Department, our city attorney, and the attorney assigned to the investigation. So at this point, I would ask council to exit this meeting completely, go to the link that was sent to you in your email for the Zoom executive session, and we will invite the others in, and we'll get started with that shortly. The executive session should end at 6:54 p.m.
The executive session will be extended for an additional 10 minutes. Thank you. The executive session will be another 10 minutes. Yes. I don't care. Either one surprise me. I like them both. It's in there too. Thank you, Smith. And let's see, candy bars in there too now. I try not to get in there too much because
I never do,
But-
and so I don't feel bad.
I've been
Casey
eating.
does it like every day.
I've been eating Michelle's Tootsie Rolls. I freaking love Tootsie Rolls. Oh my God. Put Tootsie Rolls out there. You didn't ask me if I liked them first.
Mostly I
Just
don't like
kidding.
the cereal.
Man,
I think I ate them too much as a kid, like during Halloween time and all the fruity flavors come out.
mm-hmm. What's the matter?
are live.
Do we have to wait till the minute 30 rolls up?
I think she's gonna try to knock that off real quick.
Move to adjourn?
Move to adjourn by, seconded by Holly Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, council.
Take care.
Staff.
So.
I don't really